Imagine opening your eyes one morning and realizing that the world around you looks completely different. There are no cities, no roads, and no modern buildings anywhere in sight. Instead, the ground is covered with giant ferns, towering prehistoric trees block the sunlight above, and strange sounds echo through the jungle. Suddenly, the ground begins to shake as something enormous walks nearby. You quickly realize something incredible and terrifying at the same time. You are no longer living in the modern world. You have somehow been transported about 66 million years into the past, during the age of dinosaurs. This was a time long before humans existed, when gigantic reptiles ruled the land, the seas, and even the skies. The environment itself would already feel unfamiliar. The air would be warmer and more humid than most places on Earth today. Huge forests would stretch across the landscape, filled with plants that look ancient and alien compared to modern vegetation. Surprisingly, there would be no grass fields like we see today because grass had not evolved yet. Instead, thick vegetation such as ferns, cycads, and giant conifers would dominate the landscape. Insects would buzz around you, some of them larger than the insects we know today. The sounds of the forest would be filled with unfamiliar calls, rustling leaves, and the distant roars of creatures that weigh several tons. At first, you might feel amazed by the beauty of this prehistoric world, but that feeling would quickly change once you realize how dangerous it truly is. Not every dinosaur would want to eat you, though. Many dinosaurs were herbivores, meaning they survived entirely by eating plants. Some of the largest animals to ever walk the earth belong to this group. Imagine looking up and seeing a Brachiosaurus stretching its long neck high into the treetops to eat leaves dozens of meters above the ground. These creatures could weigh more than 50 tons and tower above anything nearby. Even though herbivores would not hunt you, being near them could still be incredibly dangerous. A single step from one of these massive animals could crush a human instantly without the dinosaur even noticing. Other herbivores like Triceratops had massive horns and protective frills that they used to defend themselves from predators. If one of them felt threatened, it could charge with enough force to send anything flying. However, the true danger of the dinosaur era would come from the predators. Some of the most famous dinosaurs were carnivores that hunted other animals for food. The most legendary of them all was Tyrannosaurus rex. This giant predator stood about 4 meters tall and had jaws powerful enough to crush bone. Its teeth were the size of bananas and designed to tear through flesh easily. If a Tyrannosaurus rex spotted a human in its territory, escaping would be extremely difficult. Humans can run fast, but not nearly fast enough to outrun a dinosaur built for hunting. Smaller predators could be even more dangerous. Dinosaurs like Velociraptors were believed to hunt in groups, using speed and coordination to trap their prey. A single human facing a pack of intelligent predators would stand almost no chance of survival. The dangers would not stop on land either. If you tried to escape toward the ocean, you would find yourself entering another terrifying world. The prehistoric seas were home to giant marine reptiles that ruled the water, just like dinosaurs ruled the land. One of the most powerful was Mosasaurus, a massive aquatic predator that could grow longer than a school bus. With huge jaws and sharp teeth, it hunted fish, squid, and anything else that entered its territory. Swimming in those ancient oceans would be extremely risky because you would never know what enormous creature might be swimming beneath the surface. Even the skies were not safe during the age of dinosaurs. Flying reptiles known as pterosaurs dominated the air. Some of these creatures had wingspans larger than small airplanes. One of the biggest was Quetzalcoatlus, a giant flying reptile that could stand as tall as a giraffe when walking on land. Seeing its shadow pass across the ground would be enough to remind you how small and vulnerable humans would be in this ancient world. But animals were not the only dangers during the dinosaur era. The planet itself was much more active than it is today. Massive volcanic eruptions were common in some regions, sending lava and ash into the sky. Earthquakes could shake entire landscapes, and violent storms could sweep across the forests. These natural disasters would make survival even more challenging for any human suddenly appearing in this prehistoric time period. Eventually, the age of dinosaurs came to a dramatic end. About 66 million years ago, a massive asteroid roughly 10 kilometers wide slammed into Earth near what is now Mexico. The impact released energy equivalent to billions of nuclear bombs. Giant shockwaves traveled across the planet, wildfires spread across continents, and enormous tsunamis flooded coastal regions. Dust and debris shot high into the atmosphere, blocking sunlight for months or even years. Without sunlight, plants began to die, which caused food chains to collapse. As temperatures dropped and ecosystems changed rapidly, most dinosaur species cannot survive these extreme conditions. This catastrophic event became one of the most famous extinction events in Earth's history. However, dinosaurs did not completely disappear. Some smaller feathered dinosaurs survived and eventually evolved into modern birds. That means every bird you see today, from pigeons to eagles, is actually a distant descendant of the dinosaurs that once ruled the planet. If you truly had been born during the age of dinosaurs, your life would have been incredibly dangerous and unpredictable. You would be surrounded by giant animals, unfamiliar environments, and constant threats from predators and natural disasters. But at the same time, it would also be one of the most incredible sights imaginable, a world filled with creatures so massive and powerful that they still capture our imagination millions of years later. If you were living in the age of dinosaurs, some creatures would stand out more than others. Among the thousands of species that once lived on Earth, a few dinosaurs became legendary because of their size, power, and fascinating features. Let's explore 5 of the most incredible dinosaurs that ruled the prehistoric world. First, we have the most famous predator of all time, Tyrannosaurus rex. Often called the king of the dinosaurs, Tyrannosaurus rex lived around 68 to 66 million years ago and was one of the most powerful land predators ever discovered. It could grow up to 12 meters long and weigh around 9 tons. Its massive skull contained dozens of sharp teeth, each capable of crushing bone with incredible force. Scientists believe its bite force was stronger than that of any other land animal in history. Despite its small-looking arms, Tyrannosaurus rex was an incredibly effective hunter and scavenger, using its powerful jaws and strong legs to dominate its environment. Imagine seeing one of these giant predators walking through a prehistoric forest. The ground would shake with every step. Next on the list is the enormous long-necked giant Brachiosaurus. Unlike Tyrannosaurus rex, Brachiosaurus was a peaceful herbivore that survived by eating plants. However, its size alone made it one of the most impressive dinosaurs to ever live. Brachiosaurus could grow up to 25 meters long and reach heights of nearly 13 meters, making it taller than many modern buildings. Its long neck allowed it to reach leaves high in the treetops that other dinosaurs could not access. Instead of hunting, Brachiosaurus spent most of its time slowly walking across prehistoric landscapes, grazing on vegetation. Even though it was not aggressive, its enormous size protected it from most predators. Very few animals would dare challenge a creature this large. The third dinosaur on our list is Triceratops, one of the most recognizable dinosaurs because of its unique appearance. Triceratops lived during the late Cretaceous period and was about the size of a large rhinoceros, weighing up to 12 tons. It had 3 large horns on its face and a huge protective frill behind its head. These horns were likely used for defense against predators like Tyrannosaurus rex, as well as for fighting other Triceratops. Fossil evidence suggests that these dinosaurs may have lived in groups, traveling across plains while feeding on low-growing plants. If you encountered a Triceratops in the wild, it might look calm at first, but if it felt threatened, it could charge with tremendous force. The fourth dinosaur is Velociraptor, one of the most intelligent and agile predators of the dinosaur world. Unlike the giant dinosaurs we usually imagine, velociraptors were actually much smaller, about the size of a turkey. However, what they lacked in size they made up for in speed and intelligence. Velociraptors had sharp claws on their feet, including a large curved claw used for attacking prey. Scientists believe they may have hunted in coordinated groups, using teamwork to take down animals larger than themselves. Their feathers suggest they were closely related to modern birds, and they may have been fast, agile hunters capable of quick movements and clever strategies. Encountering a group of velociraptors would be extremely dangerous, even for much larger animals. Finally, we have one of the most heavily armored dinosaurs ever discovered, Ankylosaurus. This dinosaur looked almost like a living tank. Its body was covered in thick armor plates and bony spikes that protected it from predators. But its most famous feature was its tail, which ended in a massive club made of solid bone. Ankylosaurus could swing this club with incredible force, potentially breaking the legs of attacking predators. Even a powerful hunter like Tyrannosaurus rex would think twice before attacking an Ankylosaurus. This dinosaur spent most of its time eating plants near the ground, slowly moving through forests and plains while relying on its armor for protection. These 5 dinosaurs represent just a small glimpse into the incredible diversity of life that existed millions of years ago. From giant plant eaters that towered above the landscape to clever predators that hunted in packs, the age of dinosaurs was filled with creatures that still amaze scientists today. Fossils continue to reveal new information about how these animals lived, moved, and interacted with their environment. Although they disappeared millions of years ago, dinosaurs continue to capture our imagination, reminding us that Earth once belonged to creatures far larger and more powerful than anything we see today.